Aloha, 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 everybody. Welcome back to the Real Trash Podcast episode. Surprise! Oh my goodness, we're going to have another episode this week. And it's a quick episode, but I have to talk about this episode. But before we get into it, welcome to the new Real Trash Podcast listeners and to the old Real Trash Podcast listeners. Thank you for being here. Welcome. This is the Real Trash Podcast, where we talk about trashy subjects from politics. That's a big one on my on the on on this podcast, and also we talk about Disney news on here when there is trashy Disney news, and then we also talk about a celebrity news when there is celebrity news we need to talk about on this channel that is just trashy. And then also, we talk about my daily life and how the life has been in through the life of the week. So it depends on the weekend, how the week is going. And yeah, you get to be in the glimpse of the week and how my week has been. And yeah, and then we throw the podcast episode away in the trash like that every week. So everybody is welcome to this podcast. Everybody from different backgrounds. I love a diversity on my channel. I love diverse cultures. Oh, it's so amazing to see and just breathtaking. But also the number one, and then also I do talk about another thing that I talk about on this um, podcast is woman empowerment, because that is a big key I need to talk about until we can get a woman president of the United States one day. And so I'm gonna keep on talking about it and just trying to spread the word that yes, women can do big roles, and yes, women can thrive too. Okay, yes. So I'm a big woman empowerment um podcast, and I love spreading the good news about women and how powerful they can be in different roles. Also, the main big topic I talk about on this podcast, every time I get on this podcast, we talk about disability. And yes, that is the number one topic. If you're new to the podcast, yes, that's the number one topic we talk about. And yes, it's the biggest topic we talk about. And yes, my name is Noah James Markham. I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii, if you did not know that yet. And yes, I have disabilities. Oh my God, such a shocker to people. Oh my God. Oh my God, don't be afraid though, because I am a human too, just like everybody else. There are some people that get a little irritated with who they are as a disabled person. The world is not made for disabled people all the way yet. So, yes, I welcome. That is who I am, and I'm proud to be who I am. And yes, I am from Honolulu, Hawaii. As you can see, I always say aloha at the beginning. Aloha, yes. From Honolulu, Hawaii. My mom gave birth to me in 1998. Um, and yes, she had a C-section with me, and I was diagnosed with hard of hearing. I had a hearing loss since 1998. And yeah, so I can't hear like everybody else. So I have to use a little amplification in my ears, and they're called hearing aids. So people like me, that's why I'm hard of hearing, so I can hear other people speak and be able to hear other things that I can't hear like normal people can hear. Also, I am on the autism spectrum. That one's a little differently. I there's different things about that, but I was diagnosed later on in 2014. So, yeah, I can feel. I don't know how to feel about that one, but yes, I am diagnosed, I guess, but I have no evaluation. So you can choose what you want on that one. But I just have the diagnosis right on there. And then also I have learning disabilities. So I might have a little more challenging, and that means I might have need more help. And that doesn't mean that I can't do a certain skill or a certain job. It just might need a little more help with accessibility from the school, and that could be from a sign language interpreter, that could be from a microphone that I can hear through my hearing aids, or even in testing areas, I might need more help in the testing area. So it just depends, or even tutoring. It just depends on what it is. But yes, I am a proud disabled person. Yes, I am. But yes, we can thrive out there, and yes, I can thrive out there too. I know you like positivity and you can handle this. Yes, you're here for the right reason. If you can't handle it, I hope that I can give you some of the little sprinkle in your life to be a little bit more joyous in your life and spread a little more joy to you. But yes, so welcome to the Real Trash Podcast episode, surprise podcast episode this week. And yes, we're going to be talking about something because it's very this topic we need to talk. I was going to talk about it on Sunday, but I need to talk about it today so I can get it out of the way. So it's a very important topic. And if you are into the tennis world, and I talked about this the last time in the tennis world, that somebody was on a suspension, and that is Jannik Sinner. He was waiting for his suspension, his to see if he's going to get a suspension because he had a doping case he had to do that he tested positive for. And so here is the results from WADA. And WADA is the settlement of who determines what he is going to get with his doping case. So world number one, Jannik Sinner accepts 3-month ban from tennis to settle doping case. Now, we'll talk more about that after this. Jannik Sinner has accepted a 3-month ban from tennis to settle a case which has lingered over the sport for months after he tested twice positive for a banned substance. The World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, announced on Saturday the men's world number one will be banned from February 9th to May 4th after twice testing positive for banned substance colostable in March 2024, meaning that he will be eligible to play in the French Open, the next Grand Slam on the calendar. Sinner has previously avoided suspension from competition, with the International Tennis Integrity Agency announcing in August that he wasn't at fault for the positive tests. 2 samples collected 8 days apart at Indian Wells in March 2024 show low levels of colostable and anabolic steroids. In a statement posted on social media in August, Sinner said that the positive tests stemmed from inadvertent contamination of colostable through treatment from his psychotherapist. The 23-year-old also said that his physiotherapist, that's what it is, physiotherapist. The 20-year-old also said that his physio had been applying an over-the-counter spray to their own skin, not on Sinner, to treat a small wound. WADA then lodged an appeal with the Court of Arbitration for Sports following the decision made by an independent tribunal. Following its agreement with Sinner, WADA said it has now formally withdrawn its appeal to CAS. WADA accepts that Mr. Sinner did not intend to cheat and that his exposure to colostable did not provide any performance-enhancing benefit and took place without his knowledge as a result of negligence of members of the entourage. WADA said in Saturday's statement, however, under the code and the virtue of past president, an athlete bears responsibility for the entourage negligence. Based on the unique set of facts of this case, a 3-month suspension is deemed to be an appropriate outcome. Now, I disagree on that. Following the outcome, the 3-time Grand Slam winner accepts responsibility for the team around him. This case had been hanging over me now for nearly a year, and the process still had a long time to run, with the decision maybe only at the end of the year. Sinner said in a statement sent by his agent to CNN. I have always accepted that I am responsible for my team and realize WADA's strict rules are an important protection for the sport I love. On that basis, I have accepted WADA's offer to resolve these proceedings on the basis of a 3 month sanction. When conducted by CNN on Saturday, the ITA said that WADA's outcome supports the original findings that the breach was unintentional. The 3 month outcome was only possible by agreement between WADA and the player, the ITA added. Sinner's lawyer, Jamie Singer, said in a statement to CNN that he was delighted that Jannik can finally put his harrowing experience behind him. WADA had confirmed the facts determined by the independent tribunal. Singer added, it is clear that Jannik had no intent, no knowledge, and gained no competitive advantage. Regrettably, errors made by members of his team led to this situation. So that is the update on the Jannik Sinner case. If you did not know, he's getting a 3 month ban suspension. World number one Jannik Sinner from tennis to settle and the doping case. Now I will tell you that this is from the last episode, a few episodes ago, that I talked about that I think this is a lot of discrimination from the women too. And people may not see that, but I can see this as Darren Cahill is his coach right now. Um, Darren Cahill is the coach. And he coached Simona Halep, who was an ex-player he used to coach. She was a woman, and she played with the W2A, WTA, and that's the Women Tennis Tour. And she tested positive for something with doping too. And she got a year-long ban, right? And she only tested once positive for her ban. But she had a year, right? Now, Jannik Sinner has a 3 month suspension. He's a man, and he tested positive twice, okay? So there's a lot of discrimination right there, and I disagree on what WADA does, and WADA made their saying already clear, but I really think WADA discriminated over this woman compared to the man. And this is what I mean by discrimination by women. And I mean, come on, you should have gave him a more crucial. I mean, he's a 3-time Grand Slam champion already. Come on, you could have gave him a more harsher scat. Like, you should have, like, WADA, I don't know what you were doing. Like, I just don't get the concept of that this woman, Simona Halep, got a year ban from the doping, and then you give this man a 3 month suspension, and he tested positive twice? Are you ridiculous right now? I mean, that looks to me like WADA has an issue with women instead of that man. I mean, it would have been fair if it was a longer suspension, but to tell me that he gets a 3 month suspension and gets to come back, and this woman had a year suspension and then she could come back, that kind of gives me a lot of iffy things that they need to handle with women, especially, and the way that that woman got treated and the man got less, and he got more of a treat than the woman. I mean, that is just ridiculous, right? And so that's why I'm trying to talk about this now. I want to get this over. And this is just the surprise video I was talking about. But yeah, Wada, that was a horrific decision you made. Um, and I'll say it again. Wada, you made a horrific decision. He should have had more consequences for what he did. I did not play with any drugs in my body to win a Grand Slam. I never had a Grand Slam. I never made it down there. But you know, there's just so many iffy things with Darren Cahill, and then also he has more money too, so maybe he had a better chance. And I don't know. Jannik Sinner could be lying to your face, Wada, and you just took his case and thought he was right. And I just do not believe he is telling the truth. Jannik Sinner is telling the truth to your face. I believe he might be lying. I believe he's lying to you, Wada, and it's just ridiculous that not the first player that got an anti-doping scandal for a year. Okay, there was another woman that got an anti-doping scandal too, and she was under for a year too. And that's Maria Sharapova, if you know, but it's not the same coach that she had with Simona Halep and Jannik Sinner. Maria Sharapova was a different game, different coach, different everything. But she got a year of a suspension too. But this man got a 3-year suspension, a 3-month suspension. This makes no sense, Wada. It makes no sense. It's feeling like discrimination, and it needs to change because that is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous that he had that enhancement, and you may have not thought that he didn't use those enhancements to win those Grand Slams. But I disagree on that, Wada. I mean, it just makes no sense to me. But I just wanted to tell you guys about this, talk about this. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching this episode. And Wada, girl, that's ridiculous. Girl, I'm going to say it again. That's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Okay. And that's it for that. And that is that. Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for this. I'm just happy that I got to be on another podcast episode and have a little quick one and a surprise one for you guys today. And yeah, so I hope that nobody follows these things, and especially in the tennis world, that they don't believe that they need an enhancement drug to win tennis Grand Slams. Because, girl, my queen Serena Williams, 22 Grand Slam, 23, 24, I think it's 24, sorry. Grand Slam champion, African American woman, girl. Yeah, she never had an enhancement, girl. No enhancements. It tells me a lot. That girl never had an enhancement and all this. Whatever. But that's how you tell her she's boss and she's the GOAT. Serena Williams. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, girl. That's queen. And yeah, so that is that for that episode. So thank you so much to the Real Trash Podcast episode followers, new followers, old followers for following and listening to my podcast from the TV to your radio, to your phones, your devices, and go get other people to follow my Real Trash Podcast episodes. Go get people. Thank you to my Ohana Angels. Go get people to follow my YouTube videos on my YouTube channel too. And I thank you guys so much for all the followers, the old YouTube followers, the new YouTube followers. I thank you so much, and keep on getting people to subscribe to my channel and watching my podcast episodes. And I just thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for letting me able to share my life and be able to share news with you, and as a disabled person and a diverse person too, and a Disney person too. Look, girl, look at that. Woo, Mickey Mouse is up in here. It is Mickey Mouse. Mickey. If you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, day, morning, wherever you're at. And I thank you guys so much for watching another Real Trash podcast episode. And let's just throw it in the trash. And we will forget about this episode, girl. But yes, have a good one. And like I always say at the end of my YouTube videos or my Real Trash podcast episodes, what do I say? If you're not new, what do I say? Always be yourself. Ahuiho and always be yourself. Love y'all, and I'll see you on the next Real Trash podcast episode. Bye. See you later. Love y'all. Bye bye.